Hello, this is Tom Cloud with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. There's going to be a lot of holiday season going on over in China. The Chinese New Year starts, and we'll see slower trading starting Wednesday through next Tuesday, which sometimes has a factor on the silver and gold market. Usually it stays pretty steady during the New Year. We also have coming up on the 28th, we talked about last week, the tax in India. If the import tax on gold is dropped from 10% to 2%, we can expect a surge in gold demand in India as well as China next week also. Next week's a very important week with those two items coming on. But the news today I want to talk a little bit about that I got in on Monday morning and phone started ringing about this $1 billion theft by a security, breaking a security wall into banks and stealing over $1 billion during the week. Certainly you can go on the internet and put the $1 billion theft of banks where the money's just disappeared. It's money by bookkeeping, it's money, it's fiat money. It's not, they didn't steal any dollar bills or yen or anything else. They made a bookkeeping entry and moved money from those accounts to their accounts. People are calling saying, is that money insured? And the answer I'm seeing on the internet is no. Somebody's got $1 billion of losses in different banks. Is it going to be spread across like a bail-in? Or people that had bank accounts in banks where the money was stolen, are they going to have any liability? There's no insurance to cover it. What's going to happen to this $1 billion? Is it a preamble to a cashless society that we're seeing from Microsoft, where Bill Gates wants to start a cashless society in Europe as early as the latter part of this year? Is this a step toward that? Bible scholars think it might be. So we're living in very chaotic times. There's no question about it. And we have to look at this and try to realize that there's a lot of activity going on. And also do that with the Coptic Christians that were beheaded by ISIS over the weekend. 21 Coptic Christians killed for their beliefs because they didn't believe in Allah. And this is going to do nothing except accelerate. And our government's going to continue to say, oh, there are great Muslims. There's just a few bad people like there is in any religion. And certainly that's going to affect gold and silver dramatically as we march forward. But what I want you to realize is the dollar is absolutely near a top. I can't tell you it's going to take 3 months, 6 months, or 1 week to top, but when it tops, you better have your plan for what you're going to do with your money, because when the bond market tops also, the bond market's been in a 30-year bull market, and we know that's coming to an end this year. We're already seeing the probability of interest rates being hiked sometime during the year, but I'm not even sure that's going to happen. But all these things going, where are you going to place your money? If the bond market's falling and the stock market's falling, where are you going to place your money when the dollar starts dropping like it did from 2000 to 2012? And next week when I do a talk at the Stealing the Mind of America up in Illinois, the DVD you should buy, because I spent a lot of time trying to bring alternatives to what we might see. And Jerry and I will be doing a situation also, internet interview later this year or middle of this year to bring you update on these different alternatives. But you need to be thinking about it now. Where are you going to put it? And most of all, I'm going to tell you one of the things, you need to get the physical cash out of your account that you want and need for perilous times ahead, because everything I'm being told by my sources is that removal of physical cash from banks will be nearly extinct before Obama leaves office. There are already things out there that are planned, and all this has to do with cashless society, but you need to get the physical cash out of your bank account before there's any bail-ins, before you're assessed money because there was a cyber theft like we saw over the weekend. So be sure you get that out where you have it for an emergency, and you get your silver. Gold is fantastic. Gold is the answer to the problem long term, a gold back standard. But on the way there, you're going to need silver to barter with as all these things come to fruition. So I'd like to see you do that. Where do we think gold and silver are? We think they're both in a bull market. We think they're both going to have slow trading this week and early next week. But by the end of next week, with all these events happening, the tax in India, the Greece situation where they default on the debt on the 28th, or they kick the can down the road and pay a penalty, all this is coming to a head. And the EU has to be very careful how they handle it, because what happens now, where Italy's standing in line, Spain standing in line, Portugal standing in line, Ireland standing in line, everybody's going to be watching closely how the EU handles this situation. We could see the whole thing crumble, the dollar get pushed up to an unprecedented high right before the dollar starts to crash. So we'll stay on top of that situation. But for all of you that follow Bible prophecy, there are so many things in action right now that we've even seen the doomsday clock in Paris move 1 minute to 11:58. And all these things are things that you've got to look at. But when you start hearing a cashless society with Bill Gates wanting it, where people go around with a chip in their arm with their medical records and their bank balances, we know that times are near. And we've got to be very specific and look at it, because we individually are responsible for being stewards of the money we've been given. Can't put it on anybody else, because we're making those decisions individually. And all I can tell you is the allocation for gold and silver must go up, and it must go up immediately. To wherever you have it, you need to make it a bigger percentage. And I'm happy to discuss that with you. If you have any questions, you can reach me at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. And if you need a IRA of precious metals, give us a call. We'll walk you through how you do that, where you can own physical precious metals in your IRA. And lastly, if you're not getting our email blast that we send out once or twice a week, and they're free, and we don't share your email with anybody, you can sign up with that by going to ftmdaily.com and going to the Precious Metals button, or you can go straight to cloudhardassets.com and sign up and tell us you heard about us on FTM, and you'll be grandfathered in for free shipping for your first order, as long as you do business with us. So hopefully we've touched on some subjects today that you need to be watching, and watching very closely. With this week's Precious Metals Market Update, this is Tom Cloud signing out.